Welcome back, beloved. Thank you for showing up, not for me, but for yourself. So we are in Sagittarius season. Sagittarius is the centaur, the half man, half horse, and he is carrying a very important symbol, and it is the bow and arrow. This read is going to be geared towards helping you understand where you should be focusing. What is your target? What is your target area for this season? During Sagittarius season, it is a great time to learn something new, to put effort into a particular part of your life, because more than likely you are going to be able to take aim and hit the target. So let's do that today. We are not going by zodiac signs this time. I want you to pick a number. Maybe you pick more than one, that is totally fine. Whatever feels right to you, whatever resonates with you, I want you to pick a number or numbers and then follow along with me to find out what your focus area is for Sagittarius season. You ready? Let's go. Community, society, and environment is your focus area for Sagittarius season. I don't know what came to mind as soon as you heard these three words, but I want you to take a special note of what that was. Don't let that little voice be quieted. If when you heard community, you thought of something, or when you heard environment, you thought of something, take note of that. My goal is to just be a spark to what you are needing to avert your attention towards, okay? So community, society, environment. When I think of these three, I think of how am I a part of a community? How am I a helpful member of the community? When I think of society, I think about societal issues. How am I lending my voice? How am I contributing to society? And then environment, it can literally be the place that you're living in. It can be the space that you are raising your family, or it can be the space in which you are creating for yourself at home. Do you have a space within your home that is an environment for growth? Is it an environment for soul growth? I don't know. You know though. So group number one, community number one, group number one, this is what you got. Let's look at what would be the purpose of you focusing on that area. What do you have to gain by focusing on this area, this particular area, community, society, and environment during Sagittarius season? So I have my cards spread out on my table. I'm going to feel for the one or two cards that make sense. This one is catching my attention. 9 of Cups. Ooh. 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups coming up if you chose group one. If community, society, and environment. Oh, this reminds me of giving back. Giving back to society, giving back to your community. That's what it reminds me of, this idea of you having this richness within you that needs to be shared, that you have something to offer your community, that you have something to offer this society at large, that you have something that could shift your environment. That's what comes to mind. I'm going to choose another one. Ooh, 4 of Wands. Again, this definitely feels like a community win, celebrating together. Maybe there's ways in which that you can encourage people, but not just encourage people, but celebrate with other people. Maybe that is a necessary thing that needs to be done. Maybe there are things that have been happening in community or that in your environment that you're in, that you're not really giving yourself a chance to celebrate, and that there is a party that needs to happen. There needs to be acknowledgement of some sort, but festivities, it sounds like. There's something to celebrate. There's something to be excited about. There's something to be joyous about in your society, in your personal society, community, or environment. Let's choose one more because I think 3 is the magic number for this one. Again, 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles. This also, like the richness that's available within your community, the richness that's available within your environment. Is it rich? And if it is rich with opportunities, are you taking advantage of them? Are you using them to the best of your ability? Are you sharing? Are you taking and sharing? But mostly I feel like you want to focus on the ways in which your community has so much to offer. The environment within has so much to offer. The environment within which you are located has so much to offer. Just to recap. So group number 1, you've got community, Group number 1, you have community, society, and environment. And to clarify those cards, things to focus on. 9 of Cups. Okay. 4 of Wands. And then finally, 9 of Pentacles. Good luck, Group 1. Okay, Group 2, you've got karma, past life, and cycles. Oof. That's a heavy one. That is a heavy one. There's definitely an idea that you are in a cycle of something, and that is related to your past life. That's related to maybe some karmic action for karmic responses to past actions, that you are in a space where you're needing to look into the ways in which you have been on this merry-go-round, this Ferris wheel, okay? And you need to look into what it is that you have been doing that's no longer serving you. Look into what you are doing that is causing some sense of stalling in your situation. And also, honestly, it doesn't have to be negative. It can be that there's things that you need to remember about yourself, or that you need to start incorporating into your life that has to do with a past life. So let's see. What would be the benefit? Ooh, 9 of Swords. You gotta let some stuff go. 9 of Swords. You gotta let some stuff go. Okay? You gotta let some stuff go. Let's look at another one for you. Ooh, 7 of Cups. 7 of Cups. Decision making, knowing that not every choice that you've ever made has been a positive one, and recognizing that and acknowledging that and moving forward from that. One more card. Ooh. Knight of Pentacles, sowing new seeds, sowing new possibilities for yourself, getting off the hamster wheel and doing something different, something positive, something that's going to keep you moving forward as opposed to around and around and around. That's what you got, Group 2. Okay, if you chose number 3, you've got wellness, health, self-care. You've got wellness, health, and self-care. Let's see. What comes to mind, obviously, is that go to the dentist. Stop playing around. You know your tooth hurts. And I'm talking to myself when I say that. Okay? Honestly, you need to go to the dentist. You need to follow up with your doctor's appointments. You need to make sure that you are taking the time to replenish the energy that you are expending. You are needing to pour back into yourself in a physical way. You have been wanting to work out. You have been wanting to get your fitness together. You have not. Look at your wellness, your your health and your self-care practices. This is what you need to focus on. Let's talk about why. What is there to gain if you do? Oh my God. Death. Death. Wow. The thing about having the death card for this is it's more than just the actual death. A part of you can get really, you could be losing teeth right now. You could be losing access to your health could be deteriorating right now because you're not taking care of yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? You need to go and take care of your health, self-care practices for your emotional. This feels, although this one honestly feels like your actual physical well-being. All right, you got to take care of that before shit goes left, and quick. I also feel like this one wants my attention. King of Swords. This is for the self-care. All right, King of Swords. Your thought processes, you need to pour back into yourself mentally. Affirmations, it would be a perfect thing for you to start doing for yourself, for your self-care. Okay, or for your health. Self-care, yes, self-care and health. You need to start doing more affirmations for yourself. You need to start confirming positive thoughts in here. Positive thoughts, okay? Let's look at one more. Actually, this one wanted my attention. 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups. This reminds me of making sure that you are giving back to yourself and and taking care of your emotional health. Okay, are you spending time with those that you care about? Do you tell them? Do they tell you? This is an important thing to remember, that you are in a space of needing some community connection, and that's going to help you emotionally, your wellness, your emotional wellness, and your self-care is in need of some gathering. Okay, some sort of community, some sort of connection with other people. If you chose number 4, your focus area, dreams, true calling, vision. Dreams, true calling, and vision. This, you probably don't have a vision board set up. You probably have these ideas that come into your head and you don't write them down. You probably have moments of having this amazing thought about what is possible for your life, but you're not actually doing anything about it. You're not moving towards fulfilling these things. You are being given guidance that you are meant to be doing something a lot more productive with your time and energy, but you're not actually doing anything about it. And that's not okay. That's not okay. All right, so let's look into why and what you have to gain by focusing on that. The devil. Whew. Temptation to think that you are in a situation of lack and that you can't do anything better. The devil is tempting you to think that you can't do anything, that your past is too strong, that you're not smart enough, that you don't have the resources, that no one's going to have your back. The devil is right there, and if you were to focus on your dreams and your true calling and your vision, you would be able to break past that temptation of that belief system and the things that keep you trapped in this idea that you're not more than what you see. Because you are way more than you see, and you see it in your mind, you see it in your visions, you get it all the time, and you know you're destined for more. Let's see. 6 of Pentacles. This feels like you're needing to do some giving and receiving, that maybe you have to have your hand open. All right. The divisions that you have been given, it's giving you something. You're not receiving it. And if you were to focus on your visions and your true calling, that you would be able to be in receiving mode. Okay. All you got to do is open your hands. Last card. 10 of Cups. This is probably what you're dreaming about, probably what you're wanting for yourself, probably what you can't stop thinking about. 10 of Cups. This joy, fulfillment, this meeting your dreams. And this card in particular, I'm feeling a lot of that you probably have visions for what your family could be like, what your family should be like. It could be that you have a family that you're not close with, and you have visions and ideas about how to get that fixed and how to get that sorted out. Or it can be that you don't have a family, that you want to start a family for yourself, and you have visions and ideas of how that might be. Either way, that's coming up for you to be thinking about if you chose number 4. If you chose number 5, you've got Ancestry, Generations, DNA. Ancestry, Generations, DNA. This feels like someone who's needing to focus on all the amazing things that you've been passed down, and also the amount of trauma that has been passed down. I saw a video recently on TikTok where someone was saying that it's not that diseases run in your family, is that no one actually runs in your family. And what you get passed down are these habits, these habitual behaviors when it comes to taking care of yourself. It's also habitual behaviors around how you deal with emotional stress. So when you get Ancestry, Generations, and DNA, it's like really sorting out, what are you incorporating into your life that's a positive influence of the people who came before you? And what are you incorporating into your life that is a negative influence on yourself right now? And looking into that and sorting that out and separating that out and accepting it, not so much to be like, oh, that was Auntie so-and-so. No. Just because Auntie so-and-so behaved this way, that has also transferred down to you. So what is it about Auntie so-and-so that you can actually incorporate positively in your life, and what can you learn from? That's what I feel like this is about. So there's something, okay, you got here the moon. Oh, you're disillusioned by something. You're not clear on how much of what you're going through and how much of what you have been experiencing is something that's been passed down to you versus something that you've done yourself. And looking into your ancestry or looking into your generational trauma, I think you also need to look into your generational wealth. You can't just look and focus on a negative. There's plenty of things that are relatives passed down to us, and a lot of it is habitual. It's not just, the likelihood of having hypertension or diabetes. It's also being able to pray really well, being able to make something out of nothing. These are habits that we also have. And so I feel like the moon is coming up for this group because you're needing to look into being clear about what it is that is passed down, what is embedded in you, and what is not. Let's look at another one. Actually, this is the one that I feel like for the sun. Yeah, definitely. I think you might be somebody who have been thinking negatively. But first of all, boom, the moon and the sun. If this can't be any more clear for this group, what you're needing to do is literally during Sagittarius season, look into the positives and the challenges of your ancestry, especially if you are someone who is Caucasian. I'm going to just say that. Especially if you're someone who's Caucasian, you need to look into the ways in which you have been passed down positive energy and negative energy, as well as the things that you were doing to perpetuate that. That's a habitual sort of thing. Sort of like if you're not sure of the ways in which you are behaving in a way that might be prejudiced, especially that. And for people of color, it's important that we also understand that we are not always all that trauma, that we have so much more going on. And so the fact that you got the sun and the moon is literally telling you to look at both aspects and to have a balanced approach to it for this season. Let's look at another card. This one. Memories. 6 of Cups. Wow, what a beautiful reading. It cannot be any more clearer than this, guys. 6 of Cups. Reminiscing and thinking back. And this to me feels more like looking at your own actions, okay? So the sun and the moon are out of our reach, right? We feel them, we see them, but they're out of our reach. We can't actually touch these things, but they're very much present in our lives. That would represent your ancestry, your DNA, your genealogy, if you will. The 6 of Cups comes up because you play a part too. It's only fair. It's only fair that you look into your own past traumas and your responses to traumas and your triggers, and also look at the things that you've done that has led to positive outcomes in your life and things that you've done that has led to challenges in your life. Wow. That is an amazing thing to be digging into for Sagittarius season. I sincerely hope that you take this particular advice seriously, because just reading this, it just feels like it could really be a breakthrough for some people. It can really alleviate some stress for some people, and it could really be eye-opening for some people. And I sincerely wish you the absolute best. Hey, if you chose number 6, you've got trauma, healing, deep dive. That sounds like shadow work to me. That sounds like shadow working to me. Trauma, healing, and deep dive. It's time for you to look at all of the ways in which you have been hurt or that you carry trauma. If it's physical trauma and the way you treat your body, the way you think about your body, the way other people have treated your body, if you have had situations of domestic abuse or child abuse especially, and looking into ways that you can heal physically and heal your thought process about yourself, your emotional feelings about yourself, and doing a really deep dive. This might be something that you do with a therapist. It might not be something you can do on your own, because when it comes to trauma, it can really trigger you and make it much more difficult. So many people talk about shadow work and triggers and trauma, but not everyone can do that type of thing alone. Not everyone should do that thing alone. So if you're able to, if you have resources for it, I highly recommend you see someone to start talking about the ways in which you have been traumatized and ways that you can heal, and really diving deep with someone that you trust that can help you with that. So let's look at some cards to see why should you do that? Like, what would be the purpose? Ooh, 5 of Swords. Because that trauma is all up in your mind. It's all up in how you respond to things. It's all in how you talk to people. It's all in how you perceive situations. It's really up in here. Okay, you are feeling it all the time, so it's time to address it. I read a quote today on maybe Twitter or something. I don't know who said it, but it was that fear will stop chasing you if you turn around to face it. This to me feels like someone who has been living in fear and of failure, fear of success, fear of being re-traumatized. Okay, this one, the Magician. This is you using your capabilities, your mental, spiritual, emotional capabilities, and recognizing that you can make changes. You can make magic happen. You could turn your whole life around. That's where the healing comes in. That's when you realize, you know what? Despite all the terrible shit that happened to me, I am not helpless. Wow. That's why you need to dig into this for Sagittarius season, so you can discover the ways in which you are not helpless. One more card for you guys. I love it. Queen of Wands. Ooh, deep diving. Queen of Wands. That's the type of energy you want if you're going to do a deep dive. The Queen of Wands is someone who is completely enamored by her ability to get shit done. She is even marveling at what she has and what she's capable of. And I'll tell you a little secret. When I first got this deck, the first card that I pulled for myself was the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is a very special card to me, mainly because it really does have to do with my actions, your ability to do something to change your situation. You're never ever helpless. You're never ever hopeless. And it really does take a concerted effort to act on what you know. And that's why I think you need to address the trauma. You got to address the trauma, friends. You got to address the trauma, because that's going to stop you from moving and acting and doing, okay? And creating a space that you really would like for yourself, and from being able to feel really proud of yourself, really happy for yourself and your accomplishments. You're kind of stuck because the trauma is like that gate, that barrier to you moving forward. So during Sagittarius season, you really do need to do a deep dive into your trauma and deep diving into your healing. I wish you the best of luck. Okay, friends, if you chose number 7, you've got finances, money, and abundance. Ooh, finances, money, and abundance. That is your focus for Sagittarius season. What comes to mind, obviously, is sometimes people have a budget for themselves, and they don't budget in for things that they enjoy that's actually making their lives feel full. So it's really smart to save money. It's smart to invest money. I'm not even talking about that, but for some reason, I'm feeling like this group in particular is in need of recognizing that you are abundant, and sometimes the finances and the money, saving and trying to create something with it, but you're not actually also enjoying it. Not that you have to splurge and spend a shit ton of money. A lot of experiences are actually really affordable. I'm also getting this feeling that there's some people who have never ever considered this, have never considered how abundant life is and how abundant their life is, and they might need to dig into the ways in which their life is abundant when it comes to you have your needs met. You always just seem to have your needs met. That no matter what, you never really have to struggle. You never really have to be concerned about, am I going to pay that bill? Somehow it always works out. That's what I'm feeling like for some people, that you need to also be considering that. Finances, money, and abundance. So let's look at a couple of cards. 10 of Swords. Oh, that's an interesting one for this. Ten of Swords is about betrayals, that like people sort of doing things and hurting you and harming you in some way, but that you're healing from. And the process might be slow, but it's a healing. This, especially with this particular deck, Ten of Swords is about healing because she's not dead, right? She might have been struck with a serious blow, but she's not dead. So that's an interesting thing. Maybe you've been in a poverty situation. Maybe you're afraid of poverty. Maybe you've experienced it in some form or fashion, and that is really weighing heavy on you. Or you might have picked up negative habits when it comes to that. I'm not sure. Let's keep looking at some more cards. This is a heavy one. Very much heavy. Oof. Ace of Swords. mentality, how you think about it. Ace of Swords. So what you're going to benefit from in digging into your finances, money, and abundance, and that mentality for abundance, is that you're going to have to shift your mind in the way you think about it. You're going to have to open up your mind in the way you think about it. And you're going to have to heal some of the things that you've thought about it and the things that have happened to you. Very real, emotional, mental things have happened to you around money and finances. And I think you're being called to look into ways that you could shift that, especially when it comes to your mind. Because so far you got 2 swords and both of those are mind related. One more. Queen of Pentacles. Abundance. This is literally the abundance card. If you want King and Queen of Pentacles, you can call the abundance card essentially. Queen of Pentacles coming up. Just like, she is not worried. Look at her. She's not stressing. Okay? She knows that she is cared for. She knows that she's going to have what she needs. She's not stressing. This person is thinking heavy. Okay? That's probably you right now. This person is like feeling some type of way. Okay? The Queen of Pentacles is like, I'm good. I'm secure. That's why you need to dig into this, because you need to get to that feeling. Some of that's going to be actions that you take. Some of that might be actions that are going to happen in your mind first. Definitely in your mind first. So I wish you the best of luck getting to the bottom of your finances, money, and abundance as far as how you think about it. And that would be what you need to focus on for Sagittarius season. Okay, if you chose number 8, you've got spirituality, metaphysics, and philosophy. Wow. This is the group that is probably about to step into some serious esoteric shit, that you have been sort of skirting it, been on the edges of it. Now it's time to jump on in. The water is fine type of thing. Like, you want to uncover and you want to understand more. You are thirsty and ready for more. And you are primed right now to really be able to absorb what you're learning when it comes to spirituality and experiences, when it comes to metaphysics and philosophy. It is time to start pulling these pieces together and seeing what you can make out of it. And that's going to help you on your spiritual journey, on your intellectual journey. It sounds like you are on literally a journey to understand more, which is exactly what Sagittarius season is about, honestly. So let's look at some cards to find out why digging into this would be very, very helpful for you if you chose to focus on this during the Sagittarius season. So I feel like I want to get to the bottom of this deck right here. Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles, starting something new, right? Like really growing a seed, germinating a seed. And a seed could be something that you have in your mind. With more knowledge, you can start to grow it. So this actually makes a lot of sense for those who chose this this particular number 8. Ace of Pentacles. And using your hold on. Using your left brain and right brain to really create something. Using your left and right brain to really start this seed that you have going. Really giving yourself what you need to really grow something that you know you're interested in, that you're ready for more information about. This one is calling me. Ooh. 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords. You're leaving something. You're in a need. You're needing to leave some sort of other past understanding that probably had some negative effects on you. You know what I'm thinking of right now is religion. See, I said spirituality, metaphysics, and philosophy. I didn't say religion. For a lot of people, this is what it felt like growing up in church and then leaving church and then saying, nah, that wasn't for me. Maybe that's you. Maybe organized religion is what you're moving away from, or that you are feeling some sort of way about. Okay, this one's calling me. Ace of Cups. You got 2 aces. Beginnings, emotional beginnings. Now, you're being called to do something in your soul, and you're feeling like you need more information to figure out how that's going to work. You've got the Pentacles, which is the beginning of something that you can grow, which can be the growth of your own spirit, your own, your capabilities, what you know that you can do, who you are. Ooh, wait, hold on. Who you are. And this whole, like, universe, who are you, right? Ooh, that's interesting. And then here, Ace of Cups. And this again feels like combining your emotional with your mental, your emotional with the physical. That's what that reminds me of. This is what's happening. You need to do this work. You need to focus on this so that you can move forward in a new way in the physical plane and in the emotional plane. And you're leaving some of the emotional hurt behind. You're leaving some of the feelings that you have about organized, probably religion, or organized anything. Wow. That is deep. Group 8. I wish you the absolute best of luck on this focus for Sagittarius season. I think that this is something that would be really helpful for you to move forward on, and I absolutely wish you the best of luck. Okay, if you chose number 9, you've got connection, relationship, love. Ooh. Sagittarius season focus for you, connection, relationship, and love. That reminds me of the relationships that you have with yourself, with other people, with your children. If you have children, if you are a child, still, like, as far as your interactions with the people around you, are you still behaving like a child? The connection that you have with people or don't have with people, and how you experience love, how you express love with people that you care about. That's what you need to be focusing on during Sagittarius season. Let's look into what are some reasons or why, or what you have to gain for looking into this during this time. What do you have to gain for focusing on this during Sagittarius season? 2 of Pentacles. Looks like you're going to get some balance. You're going to get some balance. Maybe you're in relationships right now that doesn't feel equally yoked. Maybe you're the one giving so much and the other person isn't. Maybe you're the one that isn't giving enough and the other person is. But whatever it is, it's not equal. It's not a balanced situation. And it's very much underwhelming and overwhelming at the same time. Your situation around relationships and love. Underwhelming and overwhelming. Is overwhelming because you feel like there's so much that you need to be able to do and so much that you want, and you're having a hard time meeting your own standards and meeting someone else's expectations. And then it's underwhelming because you don't feel enough passion in there. You don't feel enough excitement in there. You don't feel push. You just kind of feel like you kind of have to do things because you have to, as opposed to I'm doing things because I feel this within me and I have no other choice. That's sort of missing, it seems like. So you got to look into why that is. Okay, 2 more. Whew. 5 of Cups. Yep. It is time to let some stuff go. Let some stuff go. It could be letting go of your expectations. It could be letting go of being a people pleaser. It can be letting go of situations with people that is actually harmful or hurtful, either hurtful emotionally or physically. And God, like if you are in a situation where you are being harmed physically, absolutely try your absolute best to get out of that situation as safely and as quickly as you can. Ooh. Okay, and then the other card, oh, that made me feel really terrible. Shit, 8 of Cups, you gotta walk away. You gotta walk away. And it doesn't have to be a physical harm. Someone could be gaslighting you. Someone could be making you feel less than. It's time to walk away. This, whatever relationship, connection, if it's not suiting you, okay, it is time for you to walk away. Okay, and during this season, you need to be focusing on how you can make that happen. On the flip side, if you're in a situation where you're having trouble expressing yourself to someone you care about, if you're having trouble finding your way, you need to let go of some of the ways in which you were hurt in the past. You know, if this is not the same person that's hurt you in the past, it's like you're bleeding on people who didn't cut you. And letting that go. And then it's also walking away from the ways in which those emotions are affecting you. Like, let those emotions burn. I'm thinking of like Usher, Let It Burn. You know that song? That's what's coming up to me right now. So you have those two options, because it's a wide variety of people who could possibly be choosing this number, whatever resonates with you. I sincerely hope this information was helpful for you to focus on for Sagittarius season. If you chose number 10, you've got goals, productivity, and habits. Goals, productivity, and habits. That needs to be your focus during Sagittarius season. What are the things that you were doing or not doing that is leading to your goals, right? There's things that you need to be focused on, and you need to get into your habits. That's what I'm feeling. Like your habits, do you have habits of success in place? Are you getting up early enough? Are you going to bed early enough? Are you writing down the things that come to you, right? The things that you realize you should do next. Are you writing those things down? Are you keeping track of things? Are you wasting a lot of time scrolling? Are you wasting a lot of time focusing on other people and their lanes and the traffic or the lack of traffic in their lanes? Like, okay, why you need to look into this for Sagittarius season? The Empress. The Empress. The Empress is an amazing card to come up because the Empress has something. She is pregnant. You know what people do? You know what women do when they're about to have a baby? They start nesting. It's like they start preparing their space for what's to come. That is what you're needing to do. This is why you need to focus on your goals, productivity, and your habits, because you have a lot that you want to draw in, but you need to also focus on the ways in which you are preparing. What are your habits? What are the things that you're doing to help yourself? 4 of Cups. Whew. What are the ways in which you are sabotaging yourself? You get blessings and you don't even seem to notice them. You're too busy focusing on what you don't have. It's so funny. At the top, I said to you, you are wasting time looking at other people driving in their lanes, and it seems like they have no traffic, but you don't know what's ahead for them. You don't have a clue what's ahead for them. You don't know what they came from to get to where they are. Stop looking at other people and how they're driving and whatever lane they're in. Focus on your own progress. Focus on what you need to do to increase your productivity. Make it plain and clear what your goals are. Okay, don't just look at the influence of a position that's higher than what you have now. Don't look at that. Look at what you are going to gain on the way there. 4 of Cups. All right, the other card I'm going to choose for you. This one. 3 of Swords. 3 of Swords. Now, it is frustrating the fuck out of you, isn't it? And what you don't realize is that frustration, I'll show you closer. That frustration is tying you up and you're getting nowhere. You're trying to get someplace, but that frustration, that anguish, that feeling like no one is there to help you, or you're not sure where to go, or you're not sure if you're doing this right, and you might even be doing things currently because you're trying to gain traction and it's actually slowing you down. Like somehow you've stepped in quicksand, so you're trying to get yourself out of it. During Sagittarius season, you were really needing to look at your habits, and especially the ones that are tied into self-sabotaging behaviors. Looking at your neighbors and self-sabotaging behavior. Okay? Doing things to try to get ahead that don't feel right in your spirit is actually also fucking up your spirit. Let's just be honest. Okay? So during Sagittarius season, you really need to focus on your goals, productivity, and your habits. And I wish you the absolute best of luck with that. You've got family, parenting, and children, group number 11. This could definitely be a call for some people to look into how they're raising their children, what kind of family dynamic they have, obviously, and looking at, their actual kids and what their children might need. That could be something that you could be needing to do. On the other side of that, and in the same vein, I want to pull it back a little bit and not be so literal with it. It could also be how you parent yourself, how you still feel like a child. It could be because you are probably someone's child, and how that relationship is, and how your family dynamic is, especially with Thanksgiving just happened, because by the time I post this video, Thanksgiving would have just happened. And so what are the ways in which your family dynamic and the way in which you either are parenting your children or the way you were parented as a child? And it could also be how you are caring for yourself and reparenting yourself and the family that you would like for yourself. There's a lot of variations here because there's a lot of different people in this world. But whatever resonates with you is probably what it is. And whatever you thought of when I first read the words for this focus is probably what you need to focus on. So why do you need to focus on this energy? Why do you need to focus on these topics, for Sagittarius season? What do you have to gain? This one actually I wanted to do. Okay, Knight of Wands. This has to do with charismatic energy, like beating the drum, and just being someone who's very passionate energy, who's very excited, who's very much, it reminds me of a child, honestly, as far as action. So things that you do, just being about fun and enjoying yourself. Okay. Then, Three of Pentacles. This is the family one right here. How are you creating, what's your role? What are you doing? Are you the one that's actually doing the loom? Or are you the one holding it? Are you even in this room? Family, how do you work together to create what you want? This is Three of Cups. Three of Pentacles. This is Three of Pentacles. How are you creating this? How are you playing a role in the family that you have? Because everybody has a role to play. And if you are focused on creating something together, if you have a common goal in mind, you can be very successful. What else do you need to think about when it comes to this? Eight of Wands, again, teamwork. Having fun and working together. How can you do that? How can you do that within your family? I think it might be time for some people to start mending some bridges. Might be time for some people to start getting more lighthearted in their experiences and their expression with their family and the time they spend with them, and not to be so serious or expecting so much all the time. It might be a time for levity and just doing something fun together. Maybe there's a family reunion in the works. Maybe there's a team effort towards rallying around someone who needs support in the family. Maybe there's an intervention that needs to be had. But during Sagittarius season, you're being asked to look into these things, these parts of your life, specifically during this time, because you're going to likely be the most successful if you attempt to focus on this area during Sagittarius season. You've got selfhood, introspection, and identity. Selfhood, introspection, and identity. First thing that came to mind is there might be things about you that you haven't told anybody else, that you're not sure how you're going to be accepted or if you will be accepted. There might be things about you that you haven't even accepted about yourself. There might be things that you haven't even accepted about yourself. There might be things that you need to really look into about who you really are and maybe not pretending anymore. That's what that feels like. Not pretending and choosing your identity. Actively choosing your identity. Not letting someone else do it for you and not following everybody else. Who are you? And what does it mean? What do you have to offer? And what does that mean? And how do you help yourself? And what does that mean? Do you feel me? So let's look into why looking into selfhood, introspection, and identity during Sagittarius season will help you. Like, what do you have to gain? Seven of Swords. Oy. Seven of Swords. This card is the trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to navigate the world you're in and survive it. This is a survival instinct. Seven of Swords. This is your survival instinct. This is not you. And it's only you because of necessity, and everyone sort of has a side to them that they can turn to if they need to survive. They can get scrappy if they need to survive. If you're between a rock and a hard place, you're going to figure out how to get out of that. Everyone sort of has that instinct in them, but you've been living in that instinct, and that has been tearing your mind apart, tearing your heart apart. And it's time for you to realize who you really are, because this is not it. When you're trying to survive for so long, you start, when you are surviving and trying to survive for so long, you start to think that you are survival mode, that you don't have anything else except for that, and that's not true. So that's why you need to dig into this, because you need to understand who you really are. The Star. You are someone who's very hopeful. You are someone who is connected. You are someone who is capable. You are someone who is loved. You are someone who has access to divine information. You are someone who is capable of so much more. And you are ready to shine, and you want to shine, and you're attaching yourself to this possibility. You haven't let go of it. And you can't let go of it because it's attached to you as a part of you. And that's amazing. That's what you need to dig into. You need to dig into that. Last one. King of Wands. You got to start moving in a direction that's going to suit you now. You got to start moving in a direction that's going to suit you, King of Wands. You got to allow yourself the space and the time and the energy. You got to start putting that towards action for yourself, and to be bold and to be strong. King of Wands. King of Wands. It's time to be bold in your action. It's time to know your own strength. Hello, the lion is in the background. Just like, I got you. You were strong. You didn't come all this way for nothing. I wish you the best of luck. You chose number 13. You've got academia, learning, and education. Academia, learning, and education. It is time to hone your craft. It's time to dig into what it is. Like, what are this, like, it is time for you to start digging into what you need to know in order to do what you want. There's steps, there's procedures, there's information, there's degrees, there's certifications, there's courses that you need to take right now. That there are things that you need to focus this time on learning more about the topic in which you are interested in. This is what this is telling me, that it is time to focus on that right now. Let's see what you have to gain for doing that. 10 of Pentacles. Okay, this is the goal. This is the goal for you, that you want to be able to be secure. You want to be successful. And in order to be that, you need to start putting some energy and focusing your energy on understanding what it is and getting your, and you don't even have to, you might be able to work under someone who's already in that field. It doesn't necessarily have to be that you have to be in a school. There's plenty of courses out there. There's master classes. There's so many options for learning with people. Maybe you can find yourself an apprenticeship. Maybe if there's someone who has offered you the opportunity to work with them on something and to understand and learn with them, this might be the sign that you needed to say yes to that opportunity, that you should be learning more and working under someone to gain that experience. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles. Why else? What else does this have? Ooh, the Fool. All right, jump in, say yes. Say yes to the opportunity to learn something. Okay, let it go. Let go whatever reservations you have. If you have this opportunity, if you've seen a course you're interested in, if you've thought to yourself, maybe I want to take this class, go ahead, do it. Do it during this time. If it's available now, do it now. And finally, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups. Perhaps what you want to learn more about is how to. It could be an emotional type of work. Maybe you want to be a therapist. Maybe you want to be a psychiatrist. Maybe you want to be something about emotions, something about learning how to anger management class. Maybe that's what you need. I don't know, but it has something to do with emotion, it has something to do with intuition, it has something to do with being calm and collected and maybe even confident. Right? Emotionally confident you could do something. So if you've had the opportunity to do any of that learning, this is a great time for you to focus in on that. And that's what you're being told. Spirit is saying to go ahead and to learn more during Sagittarius season. If you chose number 14, you've got joy, peace, and fun. Okay. It's time to let your hair down. It's time to let loose a little bit. It's time to relax a little bit. It is time to enjoy yourself. You've been working so hard, or you have been thinking so hard, or you have been processing so much, or you have been digging into your shadow work and your triggers. All right. Whatever you have been doing, it is time now to just, okay, and enjoy yourself. It's time to enjoy yourself. So focus on what makes you feel joyful, what makes you feel peaceful, and what is fun for you. Why do you need to do this, or what do you have to gain if you focus on that? Well, let's look at it. 8 of Pentacles. If you focus on joy, peace, and fun, you will start to see all of the ways in which you have choices of where you can go next. If you take a break, if you take this pause and enjoy what you have right now and take your time and just be in this blissful sort of state, you will start to see, I can go anywhere I want right now. I can do anything I want to do right now. I can say yes to that opportunity, or I can start working on that project, or you will be refreshed so that you could see all the choices that you actually have. That's amazing. What else? Rest. 4 of Swords. You're taking a mental break. You are needing this rest. You're needing this rest and this time out for fun and relaxation. Okay? Definitely. It's time to get yourself, not quite the Hermit, because the Hermit is more of like taking the time to be introspective and no. We did that. Right now we are resting. Right now we are finding a comfortable space to be relaxed in, and we are settling in. So that way, when we are ready to leave the nest, we can fly. You feel me? Also, wow, 6 of Wands. So that when you're done with this particular part of your necessary focus, which is joy, peace, and fun, then you can step on stage. Then you can sing that song. Then you can share your testimony. Okay? Then you can show up fully, with your hands up, ready to just do your thing. That's what you're going to gain if you focus on that during Sagittarius season. Number 15, you have got career, work, and business. That has to be your focus area right now. Career, work, and business. This could very well be that you have been training and doing your certifications and doing your workshops and doing all of this work, preparing yourself, learning, working with other people, gaining some more knowledge. But now it is time to start moving forward in your actions. Now it's time to start being focused on your business. What is it? How are you melding what you know with what you want to do? It's time to get to work. It's time to actually pound the pavement, if you will. For you, it is time. During Sagittarius season, you should be focusing on how to further your career, how to improve your work environment, perhaps, or your work mentality. Not to say that you need to start getting into this hustle grind, because we already know hustling and grinding is not usually the best way to approach life. That there could be things that you need to do, though. You need to do some work now. You need to actually do some work. It's no longer sitting and absorbing. It's no longer writing stuff down. Now it's time to start gaining some experience. That's one thing I hated. I remember when I first was looking for a job right out of college, and they would ask you what your experience was, and I had none. And I barely ever got hired because I had no experience. I had to do jobs that I did not like because I had no experience. So you are needing to look into how to gain some experience. It's one thing to know everything, but do you have experience? Page of Swords. Oh my gosh. Literally cannot be any more clear than this. She has her books, she has her ideas, and she's walking that tightrope. Okay. All right. This is what you have to gain if you were to focus on your career, business, and work right now. That you can start using what you have learned and your ideas and move forward and get across this chasm of uncertainty. Also, Hangman, making that decision. Make that decision. You've been hanging out for a while, but now it is time to move forward. Do you want to go up? Do you want to go down? Do you want to go left? Do you want to go right? This is your opportunity to, once you start moving towards working and furthering your career, or defining your career, or defining your business, that's when you start making the decision and you're no longer in a hangman situation. Okay, last card, the Hierophant. Forward progression, but in a way that is true to what you've learned, true to what you have taken in and have received. That there is a way to do things and there are structures in place, but how can you use that to your advantage now? Now that you understand that there is a system in place, how do you use that to your advantage and move forward and move up towards your ultimate goals? I wish you the best of luck.